Hey there, everybody. It's time for another game of Chicago Cubs baseball. I originally planned not to do videos of the rest of the Mets Cup series. I was going to play those offline and then start the next video when they play the Phillies. But the Cubs did so poorly, I want to give them another chance to redeem themselves. So we're back here at game two, second game of the season against those go-go Mets of Al Red Sox fan. So they're going to see what they can do with Mike Krukow on the mound against Jerry Koosman. So I'll go ahead and flip over to page 2 of the scorebook, and you can go through the lineups with me very quickly. Lee Mazzilli's in center. The Mets are the same exactly, except for the pitcher. They got Mazzilli, Mian, Milner, Kingman, Kranepool, Stearns, Stager, Harrelson, and Koosman the pitcher. The Cubs, the only change they have is a catcher, where Middlewald is going to replace Swisher. So they've got DeJesus, Cardinal, Bittner, Mercer, Morales, Ontiveros, Middlewald, Trio, and Krukow. Decide to go with the as played lineups for this game just to see how it goes. I may go as played for the first couple of series and see how that works out, and see if I decide I want to go to a system of randomness. And I will use injuries. If somebody gets injured, then they're coming out. So I'm not going to be emboldened to or limited to the as played lineups, but I'm going to try to follow them as much as possible. So we go to weather day, or weather game here. Of course, it's always a day game in Chicago because they don't have lights at the time. So Chicago day game in April. We are looking for a 1 to 7 to have good weather, 8 to 14 is average, and 15 to 20 is bad. So let's see what we get. We get a 12, and 12, I believe, is average. And it is. So average, same as yesterday, or as game one. 13s for singles for both, and 19s for homers for both. So could be good times for the hitters again. Certainly was for the Mets yesterday. And just to let everybody know, of course, I'm very serious about doing the research for this season and giving out tidbits and so forth. And I've got some more resources that just came in the mail today. First one is the 1977 media guide for the Cubs. So I'm getting some player bios and things off of that. Also got the 77 media guide for the White Sox. And I also got about 10 of these baseball digests from 1977. Particular one of interest is this one in April, where that's going to have the opening day rosters, schedules, and all that good stuff. So a lot of good information there that I might lean on throughout the season to get my information out. And now we're going to have a tidbit, player tidbit of the day. And today's player is Larry Bittner. And I actually got this, I forget where the website was I was looking at. But, and actually, I don't think this is Larry Bittner. I think this is just a strange occurrence for the Cubs. No, Bittner was involved. My bad. Okay, so it is about Larry Bittner. Who knew? All right, I'll just hold it out here and let you read it along with me. It says, to superstitious people, Friday the 13th is a day to be wary of, with the shadows and rustles of bad luck lurking around every corner, and an uneasy sense of foreboding in the air. More rationale people like Vin Scully would say it's all hogwash. Even the staunchest skeptic would have to admit that things were a little odd had they played for the Expos on Friday, May 13th, 1977. While the Expos were going to lose 5-3 to the Cubs at Olympic Stadium, it was the way they lost that was strange. The Cubs knocked out 13 hits and left 13 men on base. The winning run was driven in by Larry Bittner, wearing number 26. Dan Warthen took the loss, who wore number 39. What's 39 minus 26? Whoa. Oh, yeah, and the loss, it set the Expos back to 13-13. So I thought that was kind of creepy. Bittner even volunteered to pitch. There was a game on July 4th where he gave up 3 home runs to the Expos. And also, no, I'll save that for next time. The next player profile will be Ivan DeJesus, so I'll save that for next time. Something else I did, and I might start incorporating this into the videos also, is I went online and bought some 1978 Topps baseball cards, just a lot of random cards that I don't even know what's in there. But for plus shipping, it was less than $9. And this is what came to me. This stack of cards, 1978 Topps. I don't have a clue who's in there. It just said a lot. It didn't list the players. So I thought the way some people open up packs of cards on, before the game, we'll open up a stack of cards and see what happens. So let's see what we get here on the first reveal of these 1978 cards. See if we get any Cubs or White Sox out of this. All right. And you're seeing them the first time I'm seeing them because I'm just unveiling them and just opening them. All right, so we got Rick Rhoden of the Dodgers. There's Eric Soderholm of the Sox. Gene Mauch, the manager of the Twins. Eddie Solomon of the Braves. Gary Wheelock of the Mariners. Dave Freisleben of the Padres. Dave Skaggs of the Orioles. There's a Met, Bob Apodaca. Jim Mason of the Rangers. He would go on to be traded to... Actually, he started with Toronto and then got traded to Texas, I believe is what it was. Let's look at the stats here. Yeah, he started with the Blue Jays, played 22 games there, then went 36 games to the Rangers. So Jim Mason. Got Ed Goodson. Woody Fryman of the Cubs. But I believe he actually played on the Reds in 77. He got traded, I guess in 78 he was going to play with the Cubs. Doc Medich of the Rangers. Lynn McLaughlin of the Giants. Rance Mulliniks of the Angels. Buzz Capra of the Braves. And Buzz Capra actually had a promising career. He started out 16-8 in 1974, 2.28 ERA. Thought he would do something, but he must have had arm injuries along the way. Sam Mejias of the Expos. We have Pat Dobson of the Indians. Larry Sorensen of the Brewers. Paul Mitchell of the Mariners, but I think actually in 77. No, he did play for the A's and the Mariners. Tony Saleta of the Angels. Butch Weiniger of the Twins. Joe Coleman of the A's. There's Francisco Barrios, or Barrios. I think it's Barrios, actually. He unfortunately passed away of a heart attack in, I believe, 1982. But he was fine for them in 77, 14-7. Led him in victories, I think. I think he might have. Stone may have. I don't have the stats in front of me to know for sure. John Mayberry, Joe Kerrigan, Billy Hunter, John Scott of the Blue Jays. He was leadoff hitter in the game against the White Sox. Ted Martinez, Bill Campbell, closer for the Red Sox. Saved 30 games in 1977. There's Lenny Randle. He would come to the Mets in a trade in late April. So if you're watching any of Al Red Sox computer game action PC, Lenny Randle's a third baseman. But right now, to start the season, he's in Texas. So we're using Roy Stager at third. But Len Randle will be coming along shortly. Larry Harlow of the Orioles. Tim Johnson of the of the Brewers. Larry Cox of the Cubs, but he actually played for the Mariners. I guess he went to the Cubs for 78. Vic Davalillo, and Phillies fans lament him because he had that bunt base hit in the fourth game of the NLCS, or maybe in the third game of the NLCS. I don't remember which one, but it led to their demise. Bruce Bochy, Rorik Harrison, Wilbur Howard, and Sandy Alomar. So there you go. Just a little throwback to nostalgia. So what I'll do is save these other packs for other videos and see what we get. Like I said, I don't know. They're all taped up, so I have no clue. Just pull them out of the mailbox and we'll see what we get. So now back to the business at hand is the ball game between the Cubs and the Mets. And we're going to have Jerry Koosman taking on Mike Krukow. So let's see if I can get the score sheet and everything in here the way I need it, so you can see everything. Let's put the camera down just a touch. I think that will show up pretty well now. Okay, so we're about ready to get going here. Mike Krukow, and on the season, Krukow 8-14, so not very good for the Cubbies. He's going to try to see if he can slow down these go-go Mets. But he's got to face Lee Mazzilli. He's the first man in the order to get through. Switch hitter. Mazzilli against Krukow. We're underway. 1-5. 1-5 for Mazzilli. And that's going to be a split chance. 1-7's a double. 8-20 he flies to left. And he's going to fly to left. So good start for the Cubs. At least they kept the leadoff man I'm getting on. Here's Felix Mian. 2-7 for Mian. Another split chance. 1-2 is a single. Anything else he lines to third. And he will line to Ontiveros at third. So 2 up, 2 down. And Kruko is living dangerously, but getting by. Here's Milner. 1-6. He's not going to get by this time. Milner 1-6 is a 1-12 is a homer. 13-20 is a double. So damage done early. 1-12 and the Mets are on the board. It's a 10, so it's gone. John Milner puts the Mets on the board with the home run. They lead it 1-0, and that'll bring up Kingman. Speaking of home runs and strikeouts, Kingman 111, and that's a 111 is a 1 single. Anything else he will ground to short. So pretty much a ground ball to short is in the order offering, and it is. Jesus fields it, and the inning's over. But the Mets, thanks to the John Milner home run, they weren't the go-go Mets; they were the slugging Mets, and they lead it 1-0. And now that gives run support and an early lead to lefty Jerry Koosman. Koosman for the Mets, 8-20 that year, so he definitely took it on the chin. Although his ERA was only 3.49, so that speaks to lack of run support. See what he can do here against the Cubbies, facing Ivan DeJesus. They certainly had no luck against Seaver in Game 1. See what they can do in Game 2, facing a lefty. 3-8, that's a fly to left. That's one away. Brings up Jose Cardinal. 5-7 against a right-hander. Ground ball, second base X. And defensively for the Mets, second baseman Felix Mian is a 4 E18. 4 and a 16, he will get to that. And we're looking at an E18 and a 10. There is no error on a 10 on an E18. Yep, no error, so good play for Mian. 2 up, 2 down. And that's going to bring up Larry Bittner, the subject of our player profile. 4-10, Koosman, lefty on lefty. 4-10 is a fly to left, and that's going to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down go the Cubbies. So nothing doing there. We go to the second, and it'll be Ed Kranepool against Kruko. 3-4 for Kranepool. A 1-15 is a single. Anything else, and he will line it to Trio at second. And it's a base hit, so leadoff single for Mr. Kranepool. He's not a threat to steal, so no going anywhere with him. For Stearns, 2-9 for Stearns. Struck him out. So Kruko gets the big strikeout. Stearns, 1 away for Roy Stager. 6-7 for Kruko against a righty is a ground ball, second base X. That's Trio. He's a 2 E30. 2 and a 13, he'll get to that. In fact, a 2 and a 13 is a G1, so possible double play. That's an 11. We'll check an E30 for shortstop. Make sure there's no 11 there. And there is not. So it's a double play, 6-4-3. I'm sorry, 4-6-3. Got it backwards. 4-6-3 double play. Ends the inning. And we go to the bottom of the second. Still 1-0. Favor of the Go-Go Mets. Koosman back on the bump. Will be starting out facing Bobby Mercer, lefty on lefty. 1-7 against a lefty. A 1 is a single. Anything else he lines to Mian. And it's a liner to second. Mian snags it. 1 away. Brings up center fielder Jerry Morales. 1-7 against the lefty. He's got a split chance. 1-14 is a single. Anything else 15-20 and is snagged by Harrelson. And that's a base hit. So Morales, the first base hit of the Mets. And I'll bring up Steve Ontiveros. And we get a 4-10. Koosman against switch hitting Ontiveros, batting right. 4-10 is a strikeout. So a big strikeout there for Koosman for out number 2. And let's give up to George Mitterwald. Mitterwald, a 4-5 Right-hander struck him out. So that's going to end the inning. Koosman comes back with 2 strikeouts. And down go the Cubbies here in the 2nd inning. So after 2 complete, it is still 1-0 in favor of the Mets. I'm trying to keep the score sheet where you can always see the line score. So if you come into the video halfway or you fast forward a little bit and you want to see what the score is, there you go. All right, Bud Harrelson leads things off against Krukow. 3-7 for Harrelson against a right-hander is a fly to center, and that's 1 away. I bring up the pitcher Krukow, and he's using pitcher hitting card number 1, so no home run chances like there were with Seaver. So it's going to be off the pitcher card, so I guess it could be. 5-11, 5-11 is, now speak of the devil, there it is, home run chance. And ballpark effects make it 1-19, but Krukow has weak power, so it would only be a single, not a home run. And since it's not a 20, it is a single. So the base hit for Koosman, and the Mets pitchers are just rolling with the base hits here. First Seaver, now Koosman. And here is Lee Mazzilli. Switch hitter. 4-4. Ground ball, third base X. That's Ontiveros. And Ontiveros, third baseman. Ontiveros is a 4 E22. 4 and a 10, that can be problematic. 4 and a 10, though he will get to it. The runner's going to advance, but he'll get to it. There's a 12, and he's an E22. E22, there's a 12 right there, so it's a 1 base error. So he got to it, but it's not going to help him. It's a 1 base error, E5 on Ontiveros. So that's going to put runners at first and second. Give the error to Ontiveros. Runners at first and second with 1 out. And it brings up Felix Mian. Get a 5-5, and that's a strikeout. So Krukow, big strikeout there for out number 2. Now he's got to deal with John Milner, who hit the homer off him the first time. We get a 3-9. 3-9 this time. It is a, well, it would have been on a 3-9, it would have been a fly to right. But there's a little omega symbol there, which means clutch. And since there are 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, that qualifies as clutch. That turns that into a single. And that's going to score the run. Single, 2 stars. And at least I think it's 2 stars. Let me just double check. I don't want to make a mistake and have to go back and correct myself. Let me double check the clutch. It may only be 1 star. Let's see. Nope, it is 2 stars according to the book. It is 2 stars. So Krukow will score, and Milner now has both RBIs. It's 2-0 Mets on a clutch hit by Milner. He used the clutch to get his way. Here's Kingman. 1-4 for Kingman. That's a ballpark diamond shot, and that's not good news for Krukow because 1-19 is a home run. And there it is, 18, but that's a chance to rob the home run. No, you can't rob the home run in Wrigley because the walls are 11 feet. So no robbing the home run. Kingman's going to get it. It is a 3-run shot for Kingman. And the Mets, again, much to the glee of Al Red Sox fan, have blown this thing open. It is now 5-0 here in the top of the 3rd, and Krukow in danger of not being able to go very many innings. Here's Cranepool. 6-10, and that's a fly to left. It's going to end the inning. So the clutch hitting of Milner did end the Cubbies. It is now 5-0. As we go to the bottom of the 3rd, Koosman now really enjoying the run support, and he'll be facing Manny Trio. 110 against a lefty. Trio's going to get a base hit. 1-15 is a triple. 16-20 is a double. So it's a triple for Manny Trio. How about that? A leadoff triple for Trio. On the season, Trio did have 5 triples, and they got one of them right there. They're going to let Krukow hit. I mean, you don't want to burn your bullpen this early, so they're going to let him hit. Infield's laying back. They'll give up the run to get the out. 6-8. Koosman, 6-8. It's a 1-14 single. Even a ground ball to third, though, that would score the run, I do believe. we'll double check the chart. But a 1 to 12, and it's a single for Kruko. And it is. It's a single for Kruko. So Kruko, RBI single, puts the Cubs on the board, cuts the lead to 5 to 1. So smart move there, I guess, to let him hit. Plus, you really had no choice because you don't want to burn your bullpen. Here's DeJesus. That's a 2, so it's a chance for either balk or a pass ball. Kuzman has a 6 balk rating. So let's see if we're checking balks or pass balls. We are checking balks. He's got a 6 balk rating. That's a 10, so there's no balk. So DeJesus back in the box, 5-10. Ground ball shortstop X, that's Harrelson. Bud Harrelson. And for Harrelson, he is a 3 E12. I forgot to put the E rating in there, but I think I remember from last time. Plus I look at his card. He is a 3 E12 for Harrelson. 3 E12. 3 and a 2 is a base hit. And that's going to be 2 stars. So Kruko will go to third. And we'll check and make sure there's no error on the play. It's a 10, so there's not going to be any error. But DeJesus moves the runners up to the corners. Nobody out for Cardinal. Get a 1, chance for a wild pitch. Kuzman has a 1 wild pitch rating, so not likely. It's not. Cardinal. 111 against the lefty. Ground ball to shortstop A, double play plus injury. So we're going to have our first injury check. And that's going to score the run, but it is going to be a 6-4-3 double play. For 2 quick outs, the run Kruko does come in to score. No RBI given. And now Cardinal is going to have to go off his injury roll. And let's see how many plate appearances he had. 226 and 220, so it's roughly 250. So we'll go to our injury chart and see what we get here for 250. Actually, I've got the other chart somewhere, but you know what? I'm going to use this one because that's the one that's handy. All right, so 250, so basically up to 374. That's rest, I'm sorry. Over here, let's see, let's roll the split. We may have to figure this out. Let's see here. It's an 18, that's not good. So that says injury, 8 is his max. Let's see here. So he's going to be out for 8 games, according to what I'm seeing here. 18 was an 8, so Cardinal is going to have to come out. He will have to be replaced, and the Cubbies will go to Greg Gross. So Greg Gross will take over for Cardinal in left field. So Cardinal is out of there on injury, and he's going to be out for 8 games. So I need to make that notation. Cardinal out 8 games. All right, so the pseudo DL for Cardinal. We'll have to call somebody else up going forward. Bases are empty. 2 runs are in. Here's Bittner. 3-6, and that's a double for Bittner. Double to the left field. So the Cubs trying to climb back in this thing. Here's Mercer. Mercer is a 1, chance for a wild pitch again, but it has to be a 1, which it is not. So Mercer. 6-4 against Kuzman. Lefty on lefty. 6-4 to ground ball third base X. That is Stager. And Roy Stager, his error rating and range rating. He is a 2 E37. 2 and a 20, he'll get to that. Let's check E37. He's a 15. E37. There's a 2-base error on E37 and a 15. It's a 2-base error. So a 2-base error on Stager, and that will bring home another run as Bittner comes across the plate. Again, no RBI since it's an error. But it's an E5 on Stager, a 2-base error. And that's going to cut the lead to 5-3. So all of a sudden, the Cubs are right back in the game. Here's Morales. 3-7 against a lefty. He's going to ground to short. And that's going to end the inning. But 3 spot for the Cubbies. Only 2 of those were earned. But the computer will figure all that out when I put the data in. And now we go to the 4th. And Kruko may be getting rejuvenated by the run support. We'll be facing John Stearns. 6-6. Ground ball to short. Handled by DeJesus. 1 away. Here's Stager, who made that error. 5-9. He's going to try to make up for it. In home run, he does have normal power. 1-9 would be a homer. Anything else, he flies to left. He's going to fly to left. So Steger didn't quite get all of it. 2 down for Bud Harrelson. 6-5 against a lefty. 6-5 is a ground ball shortstop X. That is to Jesus. He's a 2E30. 2 and a 2 is going to be questionable. 2 and 2 is a base hit. E30 and a 15. There is no 15, but it is a base hit. So Harrelson sneaks a single with 2 outs, and that's going to allow Kuzman to bat. And we get a 2, which is a chance for a balk or a pass ball. Balk rating, let's check to see which we're going to check here. It's a 5, so we're going for the pass ball rating. And on Mitterwald, his pass ball rating is 0, so he cannot have a pass ball. So we keep going. 3-6, and that's a ground ball shortstop A. That's going to end the inning. We'll call it a fielder's choice. 6-4. Goes the short way with it. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. Still a 5-3 Cubs lead. I'm sorry, Mets lead. But the Cubs at least showing some life. Kuzman back out. Will be facing Ontiveros. And you know what? I made a tactical error. I wasn't paying attention. It's actually not Gross in left field. It's going to be Kleins because of the lefty on the mound. So since he didn't have a play in the field or a bat yet, that's just my mistake. So I'm going to correct that. And we're going to keep Gross on the bench. So that's something I should have done. I wasn't paying attention to it. That's what happens when you do a video. You're supposed to use a right-hander. Kleins in real life would have come in to be that replacement. So it is going to be Kleins, not Gross, just for the record. All right, so Ontiveros will lead off. 5-9, 5-9, ground ball shortstop X. That's Harrelson. But Harrelson could be trouble. That's a 3. And Harrelson is a 3E12. So a 3 and a 3 is a single. And it's a 10, so he's not going to have an error. But it is going to be a leadoff single for Ontiveros. He keeps it going. Here's Mitterwald. We get a 5-3. Fly ball right field X. Kingman, that could be trouble. And Kingman. Let's see what we get here. That's a 3, so that's not good news for Kingman. He's in right field. Kingman. What is Kingman? I think he's a 5, but let me double check that. Yeah, he's actually in left field, not right field. My bad. Well, why is Kingman in right field when he's not even rated for right field? Well, on this card, he's rated as a left fielder, so I'm just going by the lineups. He's a 5, E10, so you know it's going to drop in with a 5 and a 3. That's going to be extra bases. So a 5 and a 3, and the outfield is a double, which clears the bases. So it's a double DO3. And then there's a 12, and he is an E10. There is no 12, but it is going to be a double that's going to clear the bases. So Mr. Mitterwald hits a double, and that's going to make it a 5-4 game. As the shoddy defense of the Mets coming through. Here's Manny Trio. 4-10 against a right-hander is a strikeout. So that was a much-needed strikeout. 1 away, and here's Kruko. And they're going to go ahead and let him swing away. He's off pitcher hitting card number 3. And he's actually off going to be Kuzman's card now. 6-6 is a strikeout. So there's 2 away. So it didn't matter who was batting. That would have been a strikeout if he was a righty. So didn't matter if the pitcher was hitting. 6-11 to Jesus, a right-hander. 6-11 is a split chance. 1-8 is a single. Anything else, he lines to short. It's a liner to short, and the inning is over. But the Cubbies pick up a run thanks to the single by Ontiveros and the double by Mitterwald. And we now go to the top of the 5th, 5-4. Kruko will now be starting his point of weakness inning, which is inning number 5. And he'll be facing top of the order, Lee Mazzilli. Mazzilli a 1-5, and that's a split chance. 1 to 7 is a double. Anything else he flies to right, that's a double. So that 7 showed up, it was a double. So the hit parade continues for Mazzilli. Here's me on 3-12, and that's a pop out to short. 1 away for John Milner. 2, it's a chance for a balk, which is a 2. I'm sorry, which is a 6 rating. And it is we are checking a balk, so we're checking for a 6, and it is a balk. So Kruko will balk the runner to third. Balk on Kruko. And Milner's still at bat. Infield's in. 4-6 against a lefty. 4-6 is a single. That's going to bring home a run. Infield in or not, didn't matter. It was a single. And Milner does it again. He's the star of the game offensively for the Mets. He is just crushing it. Here's Kingman. A 2, and we're checking balk or pass ball again. We're checking balks. So it's a 1 to 6. No balk. Kingman. 4-4. Ground ball third base X. That's Ontiveros. Ontiveros, an 11. He'll get to that. Ontiveros is a 4. So 4 and 11. No, he won't get to it. I stand corrected. 4 and 11 is an SI2. So that's a single 2 stars. 10, no error. On an E22-10, there is no error, but it is a single 2 stars. And for Kingman, so that will move Milner to third. And now Kruko is at his point of weakness, but they're going to let him see if he can get out of the inning. 1-7 for Cranepool. Ground ball second base A. That's going to do it. That'll get him out of the inning. 4-6-3. And Kruko survives, just allowing 1 run, but he's done. 5 innings pitched and 6 runs. So that's going to be it for Mr. Kruko. He is finished for the day. We go to the bottom of the 5th. And it'll be Kuzman. Kuzman facing Kleins. 6-5 is a strikeout. 1 away. That will bring up Larry Bittner. Lefty on lefty. 3-5 is a solid single for Bittner. So Bittner's 2 for 3. Brings up Bobby Mercer. Another lefty on lefty. 1-5, and that's a strikeout. Mercer out on strikes. 2 down. And that sends us to Jerry Morales. Morales, a 2-11. That's a ballpark single check. 1 to 13 would be a single. It is a single. So that puts runners at first and second with 2 outs for Steve Ontiveros. 6-6, right-hander batting, a switch hitter batting right. 6-6 is a strikeout, and that's going to end the inning. So we are done through 5. But my recording time is starting to run out on me, so I'm going to pause the video, and we'll be back with inning number 6. Okay, top of the 6th, Paul Russell, the new Cubs pitcher. 2-3 for Stearns against a right-hander. He's hit by the pitch. So the first batter faced, and he gets plunked. That is Mr. Stearns. That brings up Stager, third baseman. 3-4. 3-4 to ground ball third base B. That's a fielder's choice. 5-4 for out number 1. Couldn't quite turn the double play. Here's Harrelson. 2-7. 2-7. Another ground ball shortstop B. That's another fielder's choice. This one's 6-4. 2 down for Kuzman. I got Kuzman from Kuzman. 4-5. Russell, 4-5, struck him out. And that's going to end the top of the 6th. So we go to the bottom of the 6th. Still a 5-4 ball game. Kuzman has a fatigue of 7, so he's still good. Here's Mitterwald. 6-8 for Mitterwald. A 1-12 is a single. Anything else, he will ground to third. And that's a 15, so he's going to ground to Stager at third, 1 away. Brings up Manny Trio. 1-6 for Trio against the lefty. He is a 1 to 5 homer. And anything else, it's a 1, so it is a home run. Look at this, Manny Trio on that 1-6 roll. 1 to 5 is a homer. He found it. So Trio has tripled, and now he is homered. And we have a tie ball game. The Cubs have come all the way back, and we're tied at 5. And now Paul Russell will be pinch hit for. And let's see who they're going to bring in. They're going to bring in Mick Kelleher, pinch hitter. Mick Kelleher. And we'll get a new pitcher in the top of the 7th for the Cubbies. But right now, Kelleher is up 3-8. 3-8. He's going to ground to first, handled by Cranepool. 2 down, so Kelleher fails. 2 outs, base is empty for DeJesus. It's a 2-6 against the lefty. It's a 1 to 4 homer. 5 to 20 is a double. It's a double for DeJesus. So the Cubs, the go-ahead run is in scoring position for Gene Kleins. 3-6 for Kleins. He grounds to third, and the inning's over. So that's going to do it for the 6th. And as you can see, after 6 complete, we are tied 5 to 5. Okay, top of the 7th on for the Cubbies is Willie Hernandez, or I guess he was Guillermo, but here he's called Willie. Mazzilli, 1-8 against the lefty. 1-8 is a single. Okay, so Mazzilli the base hit. Here's Mian. 6-5. Hernandez against a right-hander. 6-5 is a ground ball shortstop X. That's DeJesus. 2E30. 2 and a 6. 2 and a 6 is... 2 and a 6 is a fielder's choice ground ball chance, but that's a 5, so we got a rare play. So it's a G2 with a rare play. So we go to G2 and look at the rare play. Batter lines a shot that deflects off the pitcher to the fielder who makes the play for the out runner's advance. So we get a 1-6-3 out at second. I'm sorry, at first. And the runner, Mazzilli, will go to second. So there's 1 away. Runner in scoring position for Milner, lefty on lefty. There's a 1 chance for a wild pitch, and he's got a 17 wild pitch rating. So Willie Hernandez is a little wild there, but he gets away with it. 18, no wild pitch. Come back to Milner. 6-5 against a lefty is a ground ball shortstop X again. So we're looking at 2E30 once again, and that's a 6, which is another fielder's choice. We get an 11, E30 for DeJesus, no 11. So it's a G2, which means the runner at second, he's going to have to hold. So it's a 6-3 ground out, out number 2. And it's up to Kingman. We get a 3-4 for Kingman, and he struck him out. So the inning is over. So Willie Hernandez does his job, keeps it right where they need it. Bottom of the 7th, 7th inning stretch time, no music. We're going to pause and come back for the bottom of the 7th. Okay, bottom of the 7th, and Kuzman's at his point of weakness inning, so if he gets into trouble, Mr. Bob Apodaca will be coming in as he's loosening the bullpen. Lefty on lefty, Kuzman against Bittner, 3-6. That's a solid single for Bittner. He doesn't matter lefty or righty. He gets a lot of hits on his left side. So a leadoff single. Brings up Mercer, another lefty on lefty. We get a 4-8, 4-8, and that's a 1-11 double. Anything else is a single with 2 stars. That's a 5, so it's a double by Mercer. That's going to put runners at second and third with nobody out. And I think that may do it for Mr. Kuzman. He's going to be exiting the ball game. And Mr. Apodaca will be coming in. So Kuzman's done, and Apodaca is in for the Mets. So Kuzman on the hook for the loss if the Cubbies score and maintain a lead. Infield's going to have to play in. They have no choice. Here's Morales. Well, they have a choice, but they're not going to do it. 6-4 for Apodaca. 6-4 is a ground ball shortstop X. And again, infield is in. So if we get one of those results, that could be a base hit. Harrelson, check his rating. He's a 3E12. 3E12, that's a 7. And as a 3 and a 7, and we just had it right here. That pound sign means that turns into a base hit, 2 stars. apologize for the interruption, but that is with that being a pound sign, that's going to drop in for a single with 2 stars. So that's going to score both runs. And the Cubbies have come all the way back and now lead it by the score of 7-5. We also have to check for a possible error. And he's an E12, and that is a 15. And what do you know? To add insult to injury, a 12 and a 15, the error is right there. So not only is it a single 2 stars, but it's going to be an error. So a single there, and then the E6 on Harrelson. So when it rains, it pours. Second Mets error. Morales goes to second. Still nobody out for Ontiveros. Oops. This thing fell way back there. Let's see what it was. It was a 13, so no effect. 3-3 for Ontiveros against Apodaca. Ground ball first base B, but that's going to move the runner to third. So he now is in scoring position with only 1 out. The infield's going to have to come in, and they're facing Mitterwald. So the infield is in against Mitterwald. We get a 2-10. 2-10 is a ballpark single check. 1-13 would be a single. It's a 14 though, so he's going to line to short. Keeps everybody right where they are. 2 down for Trio. Now the pitcher is on deck, Willie Hernandez, but they could pinch hit for him, so they're going to have to face Trio. Although he has tripled and homered, you know what? They're going to walk him. They're going to go unconventional and intentionally walk Trio and enforce the hand of Herman Franks to use a pinch hitter for Willie Hernandez. That takes Hernandez out of the game. And that will bring in pinch hitter Dave Rosello. Actually, no, take that back. It will not be Rosello. I am missing one of my cards. Let me pause the video because I need Joe Wallace. Okay, found him. Joe Wallace, switch hitter, is in. It's a 3-5 for Wallace. He struck him out, so it didn't matter anyway. The intentional walk paid off. But 2 runs come in, and the Cubs lead it by the score of 7-5. We go to the 8th in just a moment. Okay, 7-5, top of the 8th. Cubs not messing around, bringing in Bruce Sutter. His crane pull, 2-4. He's going to ground to Sutter for out number 1. That'll bring up John Stearns. 6-5. That's a strikeout for Sutter. Cubs looking to nail down this victory and go to 1-1. Steger, 3-6 for Steger, and he's going to strike out. So Sutter put him down 1-2-3. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. And Apodaca will stay in there. And see if he can hold everything, hold to 4 here in the 8th inning. And he's going to face the top of the order in DeJesus. 5-9 is a strikeout. Apodaca has not reached this point of weakness yet. So he does get the strikeout. Here's Gene Kleins. 2-7 for Kleins. He's going to ground to second. That's 2 down. And it's going to turn it over to Larry Bittner. 4-8 for Bittner. 4-8 is a strikeout. So Apodaca holding serve keeps the score at 8-8. We go to the bottom of the 9th. I'm sorry, top of the 9th. And we are at a 7-5 Cubs lead. It's all for Apodaca. Sutter is up, and he's going to be facing Bud Harrelson, and then a pinch hitter for the pitcher spot. It's going to be Bruce Beauclair. So it's Harrelson, then Beauclair for Kuzman, or for Apodaca here in the 9th. So it's Harrelson, then Beauclair. Right now it's Harrelson, 3-5, and that's a 1-7 single. Anything else, and it'll be a line out to first baseman. It's a 5. It's a leadoff single for Harrelson, so he's aboard. That brings the tying run to the plate in Bruce Beauclair, pinch hitter. We get a 6-11 off of Sutter. That's a fly ball right field X. Right fielder is Mercer, and Mercer's defensive rating in right field is a 2E6. 2 and an 8. He'll get to that. Let's check the error for an outfielder. E6, and that is a 12. E6, there is no 12 under the E6. And an 8, I'm sorry, a 6, yeah, 8 and a 2 is an F2. So nothing going on there, just a fly to right. 1 away, Beauclair is gone. Here's Lee Mazzilli. Cubs 2 outs away from the first victory, 4-11. Switch hitter batting left is a strikeout. So Suter puts the K on Mazzilli, and now it's up to Felix Millan. Last chance for the Mets. 1-9. 1-9 against a right-hander. Fly to left, and that's the ball game. So the Cubs, down 5-0 at one point, come all the way back and defeat the Mets by the score of 7-5. My recording time's almost done, so I don't want to belabor it too long after the game is over. Hope you enjoyed that. Bruce Sutter gets his first save as the Cubbies go to 1-1 and defeat those go-go Mets. Sorry about that, Al Red Sox fan. So until next time, hope you enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.